Time feels absolute. It surrounds us, chases us, measures our days, defines our memories, shapes our fears. We are born into its rhythm, wake with the clock, plan for the weekend, regret the past, worry about tomorrow. But what if time is not what we think it is? What if it's not real? At least not in the way we believe. In the Vedic tradition, time, Kala, is not a straight line. It's not a march from past to future. It's a cycle, a rhythm, a movement within consciousness itself. Time is not outside of you. It flows through you. It bends around awareness. It changes shape depending on the state of your mind. Haven't you noticed? An hour can feel like a second when you're in joy. A second can feel like an eternity when you're in pain. Time stretches, contracts, dissolves, because it is not fixed. What we call the past is not a place. It is memory stored in the mind. What we call the future is not a destination. It is imagination, shaped by desire or fear. And the only place where life ever truly happens is now. The present, the eternal now, the still point where time disappears. The sages knew this. They spoke not of linear history, but of cycles, yugas, ages, repetitions of cosmic breath. What has been will be again. What is now has already been. This isn't repetition in the mundane sense. It is evolution through rhythm, expansion through remembering, consciousness rediscovering itself in infinite forms. Time, then, is a tool, a lens, useful for daily life, but not ultimate. The deeper self, the Atman, is timeless. It watches time, but is not bound by it. When you identify with the mind, you live in time, pulled by past regret, pushed by future anxiety. When you rest in awareness, you return to timelessness. You live in time, but not as time. Most suffering is a result of time-bound thinking. I should have done. What if I never? I hope it lasts. All these thoughts are rooted in the illusion that time is real and you are its prisoner. But you are not a prisoner. You are the witness. The stillness beneath the ticking clock, the presence behind the story of yesterday and tomorrow. In deep meditation, this becomes clear. The sense of time melts. A minute feels like a lifetime, or a lifetime like a breath. You are not disappearing. You are returning to the space before time began. That space is not empty. It is full of peace, clarity, truth. It is where the soul remembers itself, not as a name, not as a story, but as consciousness, silent and awake. And when you return to daily life from that place, something shifts. You stop rushing, you stop chasing. You begin to see time, not as a master, but as a servant. You use time, but you are no longer used by it. You meet deadlines, but you are not defined by them. You remember the past, but you no longer live there. Even death loses its grip, because death only exists in time. But the self is timeless. The soul does not end. It transitions. It moves from form to form, like the sun rising in different skies. This is why the sages had no fear of death. They had seen what lies beyond time, and in that seeing, they became free, not careless, but deeply calm. And you are not separate from that truth. You feel it already, in moments of stillness, in déjà vu, in dreams, in silence, in sudden knowing, the taste of timelessness. You know you are not your age, not your past, not your schedule. You are presence, eternal and whole. But you forget. You believe the calendar. You believe the clock. And you suffer. The goal is not to destroy time. It is to see through it. To see it as a beautiful illusion, helpful, but not ultimate. Real only in the same way that a shadow is real. And in that seeing, freedom begins, not in the future, not later, but now. Always now. Because now is the only doorway to the self. When you truly begin to understand the illusion of time, everything softens. You stop rushing through life as if there's somewhere to get. You stop measuring yourself against false deadlines. You stop holding your breath, waiting for someday. Because you realize there is no someday. There is only now. And now is enough. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. The past no longer chains you. The future no longer haunts you. You become rooted in this breath, this moment, this simple awareness of being. Time still moves around you, but something in you stops moving. Not in a lifeless way, but in a deep, unmoving presence. The kind that watches storms pass without being touched. From that place, you see life differently. You no longer ask, how much time do I have? You ask, what can I see clearly right now? You no longer fear getting older because you realize that age is just the body's journey through space. The self does not age. The soul does not wrinkle. You begin to notice how much of modern life is built on time-based anxiety. Hurry, delay, deadlines, regret, countdown. All rooted in the idea that you are running out. But what are you running out of if you are not in time? This is not about abandoning your responsibilities. It's about meeting them with presence, not panic. With grounded action, not compulsive urgency. Even goals become different. You stop chasing distant fantasies and start responding to what is needed now. Your steps become more honest. Your choices more calm. The ancient rishis didn't tell people to ignore time. They told them to see it clearly, to respect it as a function of the manifest world, but not confuse it with the ultimate truth. Because truth doesn't change with the clock. Love doesn't expire. Wisdom doesn't age. And the self, the deepest you, was never born and will never die. When this becomes more than theory, when you feel it, life begins to move with grace. You act, but don't cling. You care, but don't collapse. You engage, but stay inwardly free. The Vedic seers saw all of creation as unfolding in cycles, not just of nature, but of consciousness. Wakefulness, forgetting, remembering, dissolving, like breath, like tides. What feels like time is really change, movement, vibration, but beneath it all is stillness. That stillness is your anchor, your home. You return to it in meditation, in deep presence, in surrender. You begin to build your life from that stillness, not in resistance to time, but in peace with it. Even healing begins there. You stop saying, I need more time, and start saying, I need more truth. Because it's not time that heals, it's awareness. Awareness of what is, of what you are, of what is no longer needed. In that space, old wounds dissolve without being forced, because they were never truly real, just echoes bouncing through the halls of memory. And the future? It becomes less frightening, because you no longer live in constant anticipation. You live in response, in presence, in faith that the same force that brought you here will carry you forward. You stop trying to predict. You start to participate. You stop bracing. You begin to trust. This is what it means to be free from time. Not to deny its existence, but to stop living as if it owns you. To feel life not as a timeline, but as a presence. To meet yourself not in memory or projection, but here, now, always now. Time may pass, but you remain. The body will age, but the witness is ageless. Thoughts will change, but awareness holds them all. And when this becomes your lived truth, not just a concept, but your foundation, something quiet rises within you. Peace, not passive, not distant, but alive, clear, undisturbed. You are not running out of time. You are awakening from it. You are not late. You are not early. You are here. And here is the only place life has ever been. Time is not real, but you are. And when the illusion fades, only truth remains. Still, whole, timeless.